I want to talk to you all today about engagement scoring. Now, when I say engagement scoring, what I don't mean is a marketing score, kind of a Pardot or Marketo or HubSpot score that tells me this is a really hot lead, so get after it because it's got a score of 92, which is a valid metric, but not the topic of conversation for today. What I want to talk to you about is employee engagement with your leads, accounts, contacts, and opportunities, and truly understanding the levels of engagement that your organization has with these different entities. The challenge being that to understand the level of engagement, typically you rely on reps to manually log things into Salesforce. And if they do or don't, or add some things and not others, it doesn't necessarily give you kind of that true rounded overview of the levels of engagement that you have. Now, one particular challenge that this brings to the forefront is from a forecasting perspective. Let's say, for example, you're working 2 opportunities, and one of those opportunities is set to close this month and has had 10 activities in the last week, and the last activity was today, but all of those activities were outbound emails. Whereas the second opportunity, which is also set to close this month and had 10 activities and the last activity was today, but the activities within that were inbound emails, outbound emails, calls, and a meeting. The level of engagement with those 2 opportunities is completely different. But if you look in Salesforce, either you're not going to have any insight into that because the reps aren't actively logging things into Salesforce, or there's no way to kind of differentiate between the different activity types. So you kind of got a very one-dimensional view. So we have a lot of clients of ours that now utilize the Ebsta Engagement Score to help with forecasting. So I'm going to give you a quick little example. It's very, very simple. We score every opportunity within Salesforce based on the level of engagement. So when I'm looking at a list view in this example of all of the opportunities that are set to close this month, they're all of the ops that are at proposal price quote stage. So kind of the ops that we would deem likely to be closing this particular month. And we're going to forecast off the back of this. However, what we've done, as you see here, is added in the additional field, which is the Ebsta score, the Ebsta Engagement Score. And if I filter by this, I now get a very different picture of those opportunities. So the engagement score is between 1 and 100. The higher the score, the higher the level of engagement is with this particular opportunity. So straight away, I can see all of these opportunities here that are sitting in the teens. We have an extremely low level of engagement with these opportunities. So straight away from a sales operations or a sales manager perspective, I'm going to have some cause for concern with these opportunities. I'm going to speak to the reps that are responsible for these ops and try and gain an understanding of how we believe we could be closing a $49,000 deal with Porsche in a week's time when our engagement with them is extremely low. And what makes this even more interesting is over time, we gain an understanding of what the average engagement score is when we win and lose opportunities from a business level all the way down to an individual user level. So here in this example, I now know that the average engagement score for our business is 73 when we win opportunities. So actually now when I review the list of opportunities, anything that is below 73 is actually going to be cause for concern. I've identified the risk before the end of the month, before the end of the quarter, and I can now take appropriate steps to implement change and impact a different outcome for these opportunities by understanding the true level of engagement with these opportunities.